Hey, and Panda watch Ben live. I will go direct to the point. Topping a cool like a topping Ben walk now musing Tehu or Buku, Buku dollar. Will go today very important message. A message about child marriage. I know what because Loma la Kulu walk attack because one Bakari child marriage Ben ka culture la could do to conyin. Kubo kakanisa durke konyin. Kubo pide and to walk out to our personally and I'm located in West Kabuku do the konyin kulachu kuberia our area kakawa jadake view ke for culture that so I want to really be very specific and where then cool my targeted audience idea why an NDR chol ke chol child marriage ko e ke affect area. I've read so much on this. I've written policy papers on this. And South Sudan, for example, where we came from and where this practice is outrageously practiced, yen nyekit state of environment in air ko kuchenga South Sudan at the verge of economic collapse and at the verge of cultural collapse, religious collapse, and so many other areas of political collapse. And one of the reasons, personally, and teaching studied is that one of the reasons is child marriage. Yongo daga je ting nyan tin ko tiaga kuj kloi. Yongo daga je contribute that much to the economy. Yongo je contribute to child development. Yongo je contribute like there's so much intergenerational trauma still passed down to us because of some of this practice. This practice, while it was good culturally in the past, it good in the context. There talk I think when you have these ku pioja ku be apur be a mukumi ku chinde talk marry ko. Echen ka ge pinom ge ke talk ko dir ko tin be culture chora, but culture no end. We call culture do ko nim. So ke work today I will ku stop child marriage and I want their specifically to learn. While and grow up kakuma, they are perpetuated of this. And I check always in one of the videos that I know they are yellow lie and a yellow quite find you. Like they are very proud of this culture of child marriage and by yellow quite find tinti ating take it in the Januatia. In Yantia, in a yellow quite find. Those things, and where they are to wait out and who wait we ka ni ka bai I ka yinda when you talk this anyaka Quran chol machar oran ti chapin no humanity knows that na ta gum kin ye per and tin ti ko men du be take through kinga teki I just want to tell you facts about us Sudan wa kalo ru Sudan chali ka ti report ka ken ga report a ku ju ke kalo ru ke mi kalo ru gon ko ka ku ju ke but ke child marriage, so Sudan is the top leading country in child marriage. And child marriage, man, the tia can now get here, put the road dupe. Like under 18 years old, can you all children? Of course, if an 18-year-old, I just see myself on an 18-year-old and a Waloria, 20-year-old, you're munye. So even if you are 18 or 19, you're the 18 but point of ten. But so Sudan is a high leading country in child marriage. Of course, I think I part of I victim too. But today we are focusing on women because they are disproportionately affected by this. Who can baby no? Na just tia ke na run ke tero or run ke tir ku ber or run ke tir ku dongwan or run ke te diak se kwa bla ku jela lia ti den ti a ti ngen ke loy pan je me da ken go adira ken go ya ken ke yilio tim lo ku jela lia ti ni 15-year old man tala yo man di no no kwande di no lo ku te me le no ke na ti de ke me da ti mo ato eru ni ti chir more than 1,000 women ato ruone you know kredia yo ngo ken be because of child acha go you are this and kan nyandi ti duet e kere re yitu ra daga and dia kan orun ke te o da du acha afal bedi because kala pir kala life and death a chen ko kero de palwe we panda a ku jam wak tin e kole a biya ku tuch So I'm just trying, but can't go into anything. But I won't be missing here be dear because be please well women will to share because talk this go out emotional bad and by kuja talk this kumumet kuja ya you putumet and kor chidi I can't go kor if na you go ko dir wap yo to anything dia ko kan nim lo man be ke ka ben bi ja bi ja la na you war pa ni je ko bi ara jar bi ga la jar lor kan ru kwan pele because I trauma you got me ko big bello into that level big jai traumatized in marriage until big jai la you quan pele you na ja da tinga ku ke lo because ke jol ba dir right a human right ke jol ba pir wiku a human right ke jol you know ba me antu ba nye pio a right ke jol ba nye na non klo yin you tin be emotionally and mentally prepared kaka ba a right ran ke chol ba mo ndu loy ran ben we pin ma ya ba ko dio e rai ran bi ra loy in our community I know a chiro loy and that many children are cut off of that right and that is what we want to shine a light today so look at message in share a kin togol I want unknown the introduction that could to and pure thing blue ano kan you lu trending online ni ne ban a loko ko blo la na white panda kala toxic feminist bitter jealous lonely aka tika divorce aka chiru traumatized pana again ke ka jen wa ben u-turn we need a u-turn on that thinking on that belief and that behavior and that practice culture my food that culture has to go I think culture jam yin bito like ye to watch the way culture I think culture could be peer radio culture I want to culture I look and ruon I check out ko dir ter on to talk e buka be lo pin de lo ke ka tin to ku pin to work tin e pin different we need me big dir big am sure big are responsible big be ke la chen ke ni ke lo ke brand mo de lo je pide je la dal ka ni en ke lo kide anon akur bala akwan bi jala tuti ku ba ki jala welcome.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, well, you are the check about more than white over the thing. You know, it's like child marriage is alarming actually back home in South Sudan and it was a general poll statistic change. And as some of us are yet but then we are silenced. Why? Because and then like societal norms I will pull back and we why was silence at the same time. So you know, it's like when I try to think culture and Dinka is like child marriage is actually packaged as a necessity in the culture. It's like actually look something maybe it's just normal, it's just is okay. But then I think negative impact I think no me take a gum big law because when we ask parents, maybe parents big young maybe you can meet gum. I think the reason I could beg a chicken narrow to poverty, mana de can I mana de can like I call in that economical burden and whatever thing. But then it's like nyati Achika, but then life learned to think is a life changing like I think she's not having power and limited power over herself. And I think deliberately I exposed to sexual exploitation. Though actually though child arranged by the society man I think but deliberately actually and she I in the long run she will go and face some of the challenges which are general health issues and all stuff. So, Uncle Rajam, about you, why is it important and we because a lot big decisions can be alloy? Maybe I never generalize gay children actually because they are young. When they say who is a child, is someone who is under 18 years of age. So when we you and I think why is it significant? And we can be book allowed big decisions can be alloy. You know, sometimes I do think like in most of the societies whereby near high gam, then like at the same time I think like chengere moiti, then kalo ben by and you know sometimes I will be but then yeah but then our parents at the same time. And now you gam is like it's not that actually what guarantee man I think like all shall be well in the family actually. Why? Because you don't know what will happen. Because which are you could predict at the same time. So you hope and the chan book be book allowed big decisions can be alloy. one thing I can say is that like value regret in life is very is okay when you maybe when you try to learn from it, but you regret and you don't have to baranding but have a subject of your regret. It doesn't make sense. Go a human. So it's like when we say, well, I think me that people can allow big decisions can be a lawyer is giving them maybe I may categorize it into two because someone might ask because I in that freedom, but then I be like, yeah, why? Because the I think direct path you can lot in that I may say is unlimited decision, maybe unlimited choices or unlimited freedom in big. And when I say man are the unlimited choices in me, it's like all of us in arrogant whereby maybe you couldn't very talk. Maybe I don't know how to put it, but then if we like we may be in maybe bit yung korbaloy, maybe a corporate video games or other stuff of entertainment. But then it's like Equity, it won't have impact. Why? Because it just though is giving that autonomy value, but then it might impact the child in a negative way. Why? Because actually the importance of maybe a collective play actually we understand. But then if we try to maybe book in that freedom with like a structured guidance, like whereby they have to then appropriate boundaries limit the care respect and all big decisions can be kaya law in line with that guidance. Legacy is like is having an impact to the society. Why? Because it's like whenever a child is given that individual freedom, actually be maybe need to cover actually be cake address and now let you grow up here is like we are that person who does not tolerate other people or actually be need to cover actually be consider. But then if the child is guided in a sense that the like seriously I follow inappropriate guidance well inappropriate boundary. Come on, Kenny is like I will understand and like everything has it has to like a binary result of which the result can at the same time impact the community because when a child is able to make decisions, I'll be responsible. It's like they will take ownership of their own choices. And whatever comes their way, I'll be an individual like who are like people who are well rounded adults. And I'll be like I'll be a decision or that is comprehensive and in the long run it can have like a long-term impact on them. So what I am saying here is like it's sometimes important can be in that freedom, but it shouldn't be an unlimited one. It has to be a limited freedom whereby it has to impact the entire society uh at the same time. So that's all I can say. And Akira, you can take over.
Thank you, Anon and Akwal. I just want to expound on that part of parents being there to guard and guide their children. So I think our main role as parents is to guide and guard our children. And by doing so, I don't mean that we have to make decision for them. Men do what you team dun chachom, right? So team du chachom, your responsibility but yok. Na cha piok le ben ke mengo de inchi bonya pieta, well le ben ke mango chirache aliu. But I think we most of the time think that our children are extension of us, which is not true because we are individual, individual different people. So this what you can do as the kind of be and pinum to guard them and guide them. And if we cannot protect them from men, then you have failed as a parent. And I think the reason why our South Sudanese, particularly Dinka and Nuer, people marry off their children young, it's because of, I think it's because of dowry and because of poverty. And this is like projecting your incompetence on your babies, right? You have failed to acquire wealth and now you think your child is the one to make it right. It's not. If you have failed to acquire wealth, then that's it. It's over for you, or you can still go out there and do something for yourself. You do not have to put that burden on a child, especially a girl child. Marrying her off. We have learned from Equal before that there are a lot of health challenges that are associated with marrying of your child young, and also there is economic factors that affect everyone. Like for example, dowry is yekebe or bride price yebeye. I haven't seen any family cheni nyirken cheni ke gam wealth di the hokeke to thrive more than other people that have integrity to go out there, accumulate wealth and work hard for themselves. Anong ki quite well on social media. Oh, she's a Louis ripe. She can be married off. She can sustain a man. She can do one, two, three. Right? Okay. You believe like she can do one, two, three just because maybe her physical appearance, maybe she's tall or have all these. But it's not. It's not true. A child at 16 or 17 uh, have no uh, have no business being with a man. That child need to be protected and guarded at that age. The one thing that she can do a bit or better school it will be pure. At that time, you are being taught to do one, two, three, four, five, six, right? So our role as a parent is to protect and guard our children. It's not to make decision for them because most of the time the community can make decision for a girl and put words into her mouth and say, yeah, she chose the husband. How would someone even know that there is marriage at 16? How would you know like what is marriage and what is a husband at 16? That's like you're grooming that girl. Yes, she can say, yes, I want to be married because she's naive. She doesn't know anything at that age. At that age, you don't know anything. You need guidance. And that's why we have to step in as a community and as parents to guide them and guard them throughout their lives. If they turn out well, well and good. If they don't turn out well, it's not your business because it's not part of you. I think our community tin ya ti loy ke kden bene na ti loy ke toy ke kden bene na ko, and you can see in marriages Louis right now Louis apena well girl if you ask someone why do you want me to be married, if you ask that question someone will be like walk on bukucham. It's not even about the girl, right? It's not about the girl. A little work or bukucham. Have you even considered binyane manine korbichati yake? Yimbicham esane kultuk. Trust me, etane kultuk maybe one cow or two cows because gamine kayine extended relative. Those and then the next day you still need to eat. But that girl will go to that family, go and face all the challenges, a lot of challenges, and when she comes back she will not fall on anything at her family level because why, the wealth that was brought by the in-laws has been distributed, loan is managed most of the time by Kena very young people because going that working will take that it's almost bride price thing number two or thing number three, and then nyan tila be tila tiya ke baba de ya denga be ben ko boku yo pin kila cholo je chin kito tin guom ben ko ruta mo nyan ti china, like okay, so in this cycle or whatever they call it, in this cycle, it's always the woman that is bearing the burden. It's the woman that is suffering because na chinya lu chilwe sen of tiya ke yang yin man mother yin ke most of the time because our moms don't make decision in our marriages. It's always the male figures, right? Um, it's always the male figures in the family that do that. Mane mene a lot to in pain and agony because ani yungu chene latin one, right? Alikuwa anajua yungu chene latin. She was young. She went through the same thing, and she will live to just live with that stress for the rest of her life because she cannot speak up. Bilu bijamedi kwetik, you know kujala ting nyande jeti activity probably maybe ting danga bebe you go to or maybe yela activity, and because she's young she has no voice. You cannot tell me a 16-year-old girl will sit down and talk to her man, a man of 40 years. No, she is being a child. She's a child, so she will just be there. I think be a teach, and that's gum. Ting winti beth yake adeng babade a log it, and this is why we think And we believe child marriage has to be abolished because it's not helping, it's affecting women more in a negative direction. And if it's all, we will go into details about the challenges or the effects of child marriage later on. I will later call take over now.
No, thank you, Achio. And we're copying the young walking today, okay, child marriage. While we're put on a young pure, because what could be loved and table of pink pan. Yeah, I think that you ten, I think up and nowadays they have data. I think. So can I put on a young people of pink? Because recently, last year, I got no yanti in my network in yet. I just think I go for regularly. Na ye la we ye dit go la rir, but I bobe. Akin anyan, akin dir, a court that I should take a met. Go le la wala luel ke ru ti te yi man awo ko pa ni jeng we ka nyir we ka ke lawyer because it's a career ben be go lo aka te de te ken ru ko so you have bakale it's so that be med ben be that a culture we call culture dependence a culture okay ran to at the verge of death bi chola jam e ka kuike and because you do at that time you know when meta career meta that you have to talk you have to you never jam ba ka kuike ah we diara in kan lel message because we can you take this practice no we can we perpetuate we can call we can impact by this I will today why you to you can show today you will please come together and voice this practice come against this practice because I don't know mati hakato pani jinu bi hakaka ju nyinero imna mata bala ku dam ku wacce na lan ku ku nyan ti ne me da ci tiya ke run e ka tiran tiya ke I know chok ko cha ba pio panda sometime me a ver ha can bam andu ya tin ko cha kini pio jo la ke ni ku dun ba cha e na la ran ben ken mal e ke ti na re ti ran ka ti ran de ben wo ben ke yin ko waje yoti ku jugu support akur bukan teto we ba because ye chol rana che sacrifice alia achen malati chen ko ja kon kwet lo ben ba ja ko jal ba one of tai kun ju because in chen ni ku ya achiro lo we ba kuen ka jam wo ke kulon de yuta I know ye ko ye ko bela lo mu ko we adiar we ka buru da defend kon ayo ruru ke let it wallahi that this toxic feminist ab culture da brio e ka diar a chen ka chen martin ku le kiti no diar ko kanim ja bonyu ya ko le boy am yara de man we ya ng to we tin we le mu ka ni a chen bo cho e diar pet na cha ki lu I know, like I don't know. I never will go by Jala no because get you all even where Bible say the truth and truth will set you free. We're called for. So the truth will call on the youth and talk show with that get your child marriage at your culture. In a could book on yai, a young dear, kuna a bidiar young, okay, me. You know, it can be a cycle because the thing that young allow ku meet ku abu allow ku yamu. Very nyandu very kwela yo. Very mad nyandu be kwela lo ya. We society a jala to society not to when people like young culture are lulu empowerment. Ku empowerment a chuku dwela nyiku skaju ja anu an chứ mà dám quá à đó là chú luyện yin nghe đi phần lấy nhà đừng đu cho tia cả qua yin cái chân cái quên đi nè you know qua chân cái chém qua yi yo na le nó mo như cả bên nó cái lệ trắng cả bên nó là làm đây lệ you à bị so poverty đó chú là nó có you ten nó will but ai lo là you know lo là dir pio ai cho đẻ cái pio na to mi pio read ku le men dia ko dier ku iran na kon men te gatit gatit an tien bu ya nyan dwech ku je betia ku iran ni arin e ka le betit ba na le ba pio ba la na ti ben gati lu no ora na ko ju la ko jo la na ko yu man ku la wala yi le nyen nyan ko ko ibe na ni yu ku le la ba nyir bi nyot because an on platform wala platform che platform lo che platform kar yan an nyir koro to America a platform yen work jam ka la twen. So our community, we are not here bu nyir bu ka bu koro, but we are here to talk about empowerment in nyir ku dia because a chuko you wagu ke an na call flip aya you and titi agon ke an 15 years ke di chin you ten talk show yen work jam man di chak anything, right? Ede chano mu man ke darong di and the time ti ate na an ke la ilo nyoi e ke de non ko kiro loya bar war chen panda chen ke ga pie brit ku tuom ke da kuli ji ten refugee camp an ti biara an ma na de no ke pie de ko rot ko no pie ko panda ko no pie ko ba yen ke tanda we dia na to men tu tom cholo su kula ba bi to me lo gat bi to ma lo gat pi chala ye ko pye ji tim chu ku tom cholo e ka lo non ke pie de le yu alo bi scholarship yu ti mana non ma ju to screen ni ma ne bu ko bi jam ka ka lo twen ache ye nyane ci kwet ache wa le ache nyane ci kwet e te bi nyule bar war chen ko ke no te bri kuri re pio we nyiri a pien ke e mesin gon ke chori er pio go you been against parent but ke kon a tuen a we parent ke nya do ke pio to ba do ke chok cho te mi kon you know hala che hala kaka bai akariri ayemeru aka gwati no mer pona aya tinde jinim lo obute ake ti ano ke ko pe ke ko diar bi gwa ko an wa tan ke men ge ti diar an tinu ti chan diar tinge in three dimension e ke chol use mama ke diar e diar be bi yen ho kwa na bi ala diar yong do ka ke ti lu give up in life a ti kanisa ga be bi jor ko wo watching use mama cái trò cái ben er run to walk tin ke cho tiktok na ko mi andu bi nom la fama ta be ko jallo ku jera dir tiktok ka taw yang ke ko because most of the challenges lu nyir face na neglect from families from community and from the country and there are so many opportunities right now kaka nyir ku kaka dia even in Junub, there are opportunities. Refugee camp and book out my and I think there's so many opportunities. Can you? I think the get one air or one you but ye and duka the empowerment, the chinando, the chi korea, they are love before you. Where dear, where practice perpetuate. I took well be near gapping. Man, which I near pure chicken, you shall be mashallah. Ku kaka tiga che kaka juja wer kaka da ke libi mendu ka lo yini chen do rie because ai lo la kri chindu yen ka ri den ke birande yeni a che pe ban mendu ba ka am te benen jala nyola na lor ke yini go chari e ben ni ta ke cham da du a ja yi be kor pio na ko ju ti nyir ke na ga mo ke kor they are now regretting they are now regretting. So what of 2024? Of course, who message you doing 2024, 2025? No, no, and do who under 18 years. Please, can we protect? Ye nyan kui, can we protect? Kur ikan kan itu ke pompor ane abah wage. An itu ke pompor. Badan ku kelu aja tinggal tinggal ada piada because an harus I tinggal jeng deu kuaru juran korbat ya. Badan ci panda and we protect. Abah mau inde jalo war kan siya mashallah. Na an mit pio kaka ba an kiara an dita kan handle da kuna an kiti awan kan e men tin ku luoy ku ja ben a er boku je pira a er je bra kwan ku luoy kwan yu ku decision ni body because an ku luoy rot because in medin che no fresh e ke ja pin yan ga yilwen yet ku pira ke experience ku batte tin a go you ke de ta bu ko luoy baran panda bu ko chene kwa yu yin pa ni le ba ko nyandu kwen ga lwela chia yin ni pa ni le ba ko nyandu chuman chene pande ne ko chene ye yen ga lwela no to de non wa yen ga lwela yu ya ka chi woni ni we dia ka chi woni ni we da me ko ka chi woni ni ti we wer ko ka chi woni ni ti a ja go tin pir ba chi ran ba bere yin na ya don you know the hardship to ko tin ko hardship ba che jo ka hardship lui man to protect so that man to bijala la mumke decision ke choosing a life partner a big decision that impact your entire life and your future generation but now lot into a partnership that you could go le ratin ku betok de kula ku je pidu rot ko lo ti man ne a che lo ini ja lo regret ini pio ja to ku ke ti man diar ke jam ku ya yin ti jon ku re ju ni ter ku but at some point ke jon ku ter ko ru ke ji la mama most of them are ke mi I think ran to Jujati I'm sure who will go and regret their decision. They will take accountability and responsibility of their decisions. If now in a maturing adult, in 18 years and above, you will not think that you're under any young. To that pain of regret, I could look at you could no need because I could pass on. I better pass down the other way. Can I check any longer? Quite the other a cycle of violence and poverty. Hmm? Violence and poverty. We don't want that. We don't want that, my people. We need to move on and embrace the new ways of life. Keep our culture, yes. Our culture decency is good. Our culture of keeping our families together good, of support is good. But the culture when it meets out in place where Ben Kelato or Ben Kelanyol or Ben Kel meet Kela Koilo because I think man in the Lamupia. You need to be sure so that you can take care of a child. But a child taking care of a child is heartbreaking. So anti jam arira non majimba be pol ba jam but the main message is chaka nyir chaka dit chaka nyir chaka lo school chara chara primary the school or high school de to jam I can miss wa nyalo be tiaga to jam or jam de la kwen pande we ko I believe that ideology we work okay they can brother lo chugen but you could chaka nyir chaka kon reach the age of majority den ke ku ku kwen ke you time se che git no yi toxic feminism a che ke no yi ko bitter and lonely wo che bitter wo ko to you tend to wo ko we one good thing for our community because why rear we na rir tik ke ba area na rir nya ke ba area kwen ke rear ko ku be promote a che new ber ku promote so I know better lot in better down to now no and comment section it no kora ben on this show about where to be the thing. Okay, where when positive, where when educative and constructive, I can call taru ke against. Okay, you welcome. Now Iran baba bela. Kayan ka chen walk be welcome because what you call that we are advocating, we are educating on the good thing. In case don't take it away.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Anon. Thanks for giving me the chance. So, kicha tuwe go wekera, no kicha quality really tell me, the role of women in their children's life. I believe the reason why our women or our mothers tend to support the early or the child marriage, it's because they don't know better, right? Majority of our moms were married off when they were 16, 17, and these women were groomed. And when you are groomed, you kiti ngade do superior do jelwela yen ka yi kwanti. So them they think ki yi ruri yelwel yi kelwela yen ke ben kelo. And most of the time when you are groomed, you want to make the groomer happy, you know. So you have to like it send ya do over go moindu go pio mier chan bi tinga ine tinga tinga usura, and it's not because like non peer talking thing. Yes, they know. I think like majority of our moms, to be honest, I think very well we can. And I'm not I'm not lying. Anterior on Kakuma, a lot of women are talking. Kakeni Kalwela, I getting for sure if they had alternative, they would not be in those marriages, right? So that's what I wanted to add. Our women, they were groomed young, and they went into those marriages very young, and they live up to their men. So whatever the man says is what they want to project on their children, and that's what's going on. And you can see now the mothers of the girls that have gone to school and have succeed and are doing a lot of things in their families, that their mindset is changed. They be like, nyandu eklendu na bilar Nairobi ya bila wuk chugimila loitin. Amen. Yeke wiyan kene yake nyirkwanta school because they have seen they have seen what a girl can do, and now they even sometimes they would even say, if I was given an opportunity like the one that you guys were given, School adikacha go up to Batul. My mom once said, if I had the opportunity, it's school. Alwel adikacha go la bala dainum tiene dainum tinendi. Alwel gal kujala. Balel gal you ile bala the lada. Not I'm not saying that my mom has been too young in a way, but I feel like deep inside them there's part of them that they did not live. And after tena non jam koze chanta nona aba gurtuk Bijala Bene will talk about the role of male figures in our lives and how it's important. Ku culture winter quality God will talk about that culture, why it's not appropriate at this era. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I cannot tell anyway, when we advocate, but we told the one and so I'm going to talk on behalf of girls. When you when a part to play in this, we actually the okay, actually Marco. Can when time it wasn't my mother's mind or my mother's effort can but then I also have a part to play in this. So like when you to wait actually controversial, yes, but then running only when I'm talking with you have to change go a lot and it's by chance and I get your by chance, but I think it's your by chance in life is something something that you work for, and get your reward. So I think it's all by chance at this particular moment. So when you to wait, it's like our society is like over deprived. Yeah, we understand, and at some point we find ourselves over confined in a cage whereby any alternative. But then it's like, kaya manya because like education achieve goal kichi do e goal kichi around kaya core. So by the time quarantine, your parents can because like monjang achieve man kapia then yellow actually that's one thing. So na eating man the in focus you are so determined at could low is like I think a deal is it will yield something in the long run. Actually I'm really intervene though because I jam. But people will be talking there in the back end, but then could you loyally focus? I think some of the people are really appreciate, not everyone. A good child marriage is not being practiced by some of the people, but except rural areas. But at some point, they are in the being support. Kulengenge, kede loye. It's something maybe with time to come or na ladama miaka buneka point. Then that's when you see some of the girls. I support why because it's like kichi kichi tingalo okay. It's something that I project mana take in the long run. Abunanga point. Achil biyaran konyini and liba coin, but I live in coin, Jala may be me like will magadu, well maybe the entire society at large. So it's like we have a role to play in this to end child marriage. We have a very big role and without us to back our mothers, I think they cannot stand alone because injil ba ko jira injil ba ko jira gile liu ba ko je ko actually I really and it's like I think some people may say I don't know he's a feminist, but I'm not a feminist. But then the feminism is like there's what we call there's radical and liberal. We are liberal feminists. Why? Because we are trying to like instill some of the some of the mindset that Kachito because I think some of the societal norms are you going to embrace because is like actually exist and we feel like we have to also abide by them. Now can we abide case society in Nigeria and we know where the world is going actually. And I think some of the things that you having negative impact on ourselves. For example, the KLM mana dike kenyira, you can be successful. I like this term, but not that much. Yeah, but then when I try to sit down, there's a feminist coaching Amanda. She's a writer actually, and there's a book called all like why should all be a feminist? And when you know, editing is like I think some of the things you can embrace Kawenyi in particular. Why? Because Ekichiral will, but then it's like it's not something in existence. Things like creativity. You open we are creative when you have the brain. Creativity is all about sitting down and see something that you want like something that you will do actually and that will maybe make you distinctive. Then maybe some of the things by innovative I think core by a male. I think core by a female. As long as you have the idea, and that's all. So it's like, as girls, we need to play a very big role in this, and we need to maybe make it as a practical thing. It's not something that our mothers has to fight for without us taking part. And if we join hands together, we are a collective body. I don't think when people will be in truth. Why? Because plans could succeed. Let's take an example of Liberia. Liberia, it was a woman who liberated actually, and that woman, she really like like I didn't want to burn. Even they themselves, they say that men of Liberia failed us, but then who like they form, but then their whatever their movement was a non-violent movement. It was a peaceful one. And now law, if you read the history actually, by you man, I think allow me to why, because well, what year we love peace so much, and we are if we join hands together and advocate for this. I think it's a non-violent movement. I can't call them. I can't call because you because of it. It's something we call it voice out. Just voicing our values, giving giving voice to values is very important. And we need to maybe stand so firm. Now, education is something that will help you in the long run. Please and please stay focused. You will get someone to support you, natural, like literally. Why? Because man everyone ani ar piet balo, but then eran gole acha gola piet, then you get someone alongside your journey. So all in all, is what I can say is like, let's join hands. Let's join hands. I know our mothers ani ar piet da, and kir man do ayin num jagre ayin num layering, and it's one of the thing, as ladies, I think wait there you can know more than why, because it's like na jari ya kama wena la chiman ko piot ekiri chiman chal. And if I really like, if I do something that will maybe somebody have in that pride, is one of the things that our mothers actually do regret. And to put smile on your mother's face. Kiri wundenga dega chima wadu achi going to that extent. I just want to go marriage. You need the and then some of the things that are I saw secret to that extent actually bagale mo nyandu. But then I know my mother's mood. I know when she's not okay. I know your mood will bother at that particular moment. And I don't want to I can detect what's happening. Kwaye aye mo nyambu jalo ku jelwe jinga ne kelwe mana de bana ku pana like I different. Alibila ma de chitwan. But then I live in what we jam to one. But then what will I say? Because I don't have that finance. Can be balera kim. But then I think it okay and mama dear twine. Tell where wako wanje live lera kim. But then I can minding our java struggle man I can live a thing, those kind of things. So all I can say is like, coming together as a body, like being practical, like staying focused and determined. Kuchugu, the cultural norms, mana adega, we cannot be successful. We tend to say mana adega, the only asset we have is our virginity. But then no, it's not we just believe it, but it is not in actual sense. However, this is not the only asset. We have a lot outside to do. We have a lot. We have a lot to engage in, and we have a lot. Actually, if we really accept, man, I think what we can do this. Go really book small town now our people's versus in what you can go a source of income actually, because nothing work a project. So I beg to stop here. Thank you very much.
Okay, Anon, thank you. This topic is intense and it's very emotional at the same time. I swear, many girl on TikTok have seen more than six last week and this week child brides, and it's heartbreaking. And I think it's something that our community needs to come collectively and denounce it. And when a role of male figures in our life, I do believe the male figures in our life are the one to end this child marriage, because most of the time, or even actually, the power is in the hand. They're the one that decide when the girl is to be married off, They are the guys that sit down kulwel kithinginya and all these without consult. Most of the time, your mom is not consulted. Right? So I want to talk briefly about how male figures in our life can really encourage us, because I believe me, all of us that are on screen here, a non male figure in our lives, either your father or your brother, that was there for you, that believed in you, instilled the confidence and encouragement to be at where you are today. For me, it was my father. I am going to tell a short story briefly. When I think I was around 13, 12, I had shown signs of a tall girl. And even right now, I'm tall, but I'm not extremely tall, like in South Sudanese, but I'm tall. So, because of that, my late mother-in-law, shit, no, my late grandmother, I'm sorry, my late grandmother and kadang kujala auntie ting wende ake ci ben ka kuma bigi ting wende ci ben from Sudan ko rer kan wa ja ben bi kan klan yen ci ja chen miniskat skat ka onen ko ci ran chanum duda la kanisa go ke kadang go ko bangi go le atia yung itin into go bear you go chamen in can my dad was outside he paid ben inside and it doesn't take anything to do with those one it's on lightly go kadang go ke lu ke me lu gala yung yilwel atia o tia kalere no ye tia kalo no lu nyan ye ne ke bi school abe go ra bi chira ton kol manya and then could ya chol the lula tia lu du ke pinga ke lu right now yin ya tingin be at all like me and I think yin no smooth skin anong ko be go ben but not me yin cha le ba yin taw ka ngi chong ti ke jor ba yin pen school yin ba kwen wherever you want to go I will, believe me not. That was not the only instance. When I was young, around 5, 4, my dad at chapter monum school he appeared mathematics and all these. And growing up, I was good in mathematics and still now. So believe me not, even in my head, I knew that I was going to go far. I knew that I was going to do my school. I'm gonna get school. I'm gonna after my school. I'm gonna Louis in Bang and clearly be acting high heels, communist skirt. Until today, I have a lot of high heels because of that. And today, I even went into a career that is bank related. Why am I saying this? It's not because like my dad is all that, right? But it did not have everything. But he had the words of encouragement and guidance. And this is the same thing should be done by the male figures that are in our lives. They're the one to protect and guard us. And I feel like if it were to appear in either your brother or no, could we sit down, could we encourage? Well, we might not have all that to take you to school, but be encouraged to live a decent life. But be mu banang tinku banang yin ku yin kedai but future by always analyze well more than more than anything. Could be jati aka, we need male figures in our life like that. And I urge everyone that is on the other side of the screen, if you are a male figure in your life, sit down and analyze. Why am I even sending off this child? Yung yan lo send off bil tiake ko. You work big gamin, work big gamin. What are you going to do with them? Te balati ama ye by collaborating number two. What about piring yantin? Imagine if you can allow that girl bedir, not a dear, Kalamundi ale choose. Now you're lucky to be now you're lucky enough to be in school ke la sukule le gor na ti sukule gor mia kala tuk sukul and at the end of the day I'm ke bungo jabi bay mun be work ke bay because school does not take away when does not take away the fact that the girl is going to find someone being bpia could be work and at the same time too ayelwele nya kutoch nyane sukule ayake cham before ben we mwinde ben we kala cham ku ber ko mwinde be cham. Look at that benefit that you can reap, na ta nyandu chalu allow law school it. Coming back to culture, I'm not going to address the comments that I see on social media about uh, activists in Alwell Kobajam about these issues being thrown over there, right? I'm not going to touch that. But let's talk about culture. There's this thing that every time when you want to address this issue or other issues that are affecting women, you'll see men, not all of them, some of the men calling, attaching it to culture. Really culture. Where mamadi etiakakur, more etiakakur. What are you? You bringing a Western culture. It's not Western culture. It's not Western culture. I'm a woman. I know what I go through. She's a woman. She knows what she go through. You are a man. What do you know? You don't know what we go through on daily basis, right? And if women are talking, allow women to talk. Let's address the culture. You are talking about culture. Oh, a culture. What I get yake kur. Okay. In that era, on yene kadang mama ko kumer it made sense, although it was not the right thing to do, right? Because nobody deserved to be a bride. Kenyan ko. Kenyan kinchai kwa izatu welinti pia kwa. What do you know about men? What do you know about what goes on in the marriage, right? Nothing. Okay, let's go back to the culture. During that time, it made sense, right? But it doesn't make it right because one achin school creator kwachin dangi there's nothing that people used to look up like to grow up for like anong kabalo in my life to improve my life nyaya yadi kubemu kubitia, right? Okay, so if now nyaya tike la lu groom bitia by that time ke dangi chongu ke ti by that time loy ke ben ladit. And the more benefit are in court, the more ben in a lot of children, ben in kala lwe make. Children by that time ake eke lwe view ke source of wealth, right? Rur ku chaga di wele udoku, chaga di ka blokun, abelo yap, abelo tong, nyir ku chaga di do, abe ke abe what, abe where, abe all these other home chores, abe ke gloy, abe ke gloy, right? So it made sense by that time for a girl to start, making children while young and all this, although it was not right because of the health challenges that are associated with it, right? But let's bring it now. You want to bring the same culture to the present. Achen dongile pu, right? Me bakadi it's I do believe it's quality over quantity, right? It's all about number of children. Number of children, if you cannot take them to school, you cannot shelter them, you cannot provide the health care for them. Kaya yung kaya street ka it. Kidanga number of prostitute ka will increase because if they don't have necessities, what do? They go out there to look for it. Oh, I was talking. I get distracted by my baby. So I was saying if it all na chagalwell ayakalwell culture in ko benya tiaga ko ragola di bimid bikadi because ayakalwell feminists natural tiag in their 30s you end up in one child and all this. So for you, you think that a woman value is to just have children. That's it. I think then call below PD. All right. Okay. Right now, that's not the case. You need these children you need to give them adequate life. You need to give them quality life, right? You need to, and to do all these, you have to have the resources. And you don't have resources because the resources talking no man by can area. I think me to talk. I think children. I think so. Why are you even forcing these young girls? Because the ake kor big jala kulek goldi lek di ti ako ye jeng lel dia lek brand di ti nyang dor le chol ngudi ne ten ya do ping no ngi mama. Bekala di dala ala ben ke burden of the society. Relatives ken churuliwa ke kalwel gal ben ke a phone call ayo ngadi men dia chi be dom ngadi me da chi a course school ngadi ati something you could have controlled by allowing a child to grow up na ti lui grow up ke dang lu establish be independent and na tia ken she knows how to manage it all midke or a homestead, right? Something that you could have done, that you could have prevented. So the culture that you guys are using, it's because it suits you. It's not because it's applying to the real life, right? And don't tell me that, oh, a Western culture here back home. Back home right now in our villages, everyone is in Juba. And in Juba, Juba is even way expensive than places to work at, right? So you cannot tell me that it's on our culture, a woman is allowed, even the Bible. Which Bible? We Bible, why, now a Bible, can we and Joseph can marry now one child? And if you are talking about Solomon, how many children? Yes, he had many wives and side chicks. How many children did they have? He had wealth, right? So you cannot at this age and in this age and century, we are not going to use culture. That culture does not suit women or anyone, like even you guys. And by the way, most of the time, na chaki jalu messed up back in yithi ko jacket ya kujatinga be ku betinga ala inje nom la tide chin ki berin ke mumi that abani ten kine jabu ring draxi because he has to go out to look for something. Inaye men yake go ring general stupidity ijuba. It's a sad life situation. A go ring titi kadang juba be biyala, kene wari ke yiwun. It's very sad when I think of it, and and tagari and domio. Like, why are these things happening? Things that we can prevent. Egua jale lo yin sisa mit kwa chagati di mit kunwena a chagati ngaka di kwa jale chin nge kide la lo. Now you begin to resent them, and it's a problem that you created, right? You begin to resent them and their mom. Ele mitin piot, miti man ka cha chal piot. Kwenya ni jodwen usura. Enya ni lo jor kubar kulwe break a virgin, and now you want to even compare kilo kenyan, and then you are blaming everything when the real thing started with you. It's something that you will have prevented. And this is not culture, guys. It's not culture. Just because it was applying those days, it does not. And even if you look at our mom, the one each one young and all these, they never live their lives. I think Peter and Chicken will live. They have not. Ebiran bidit. That's it. Like Peter in Queen, guys. Peter Bajadit, and your life just rotate around the house. Children. Na chimuch chi wek be wana la. Ka yin ting man mi the yin ka jalo yin ngom. Yin mo na chika kui ke, by the way rura ka doi ker we chen zuru chen ke dir. Ka yin dong rad mi awit. Emia kubako jabi alui to rise. You are trauma doing token in alui pass down the children. This trauma is going to live with the children. If they don't liberate themselves, they are going to pass it down to their children. And it will just go like that. It's not culture. And each one yakalwel gala nyut nya kutia ken ke kur ke kanyi kan the nyir ke nyir chidira. Okay, fine. Ale bekangi, which is okay. But renganyi because bija life situation because ja lui comprehensive at 16 years. You want to tell me where ni and come more than year can to law school in you to dire and kaleri? No, it's not because where ni and come. If you are attracted by the naivety, yeah, I think so you go back to manipulate. And by the way, that's why na chake tiake boku jerir na chi are lucky enough to be city boku lionyen kuting med ke kuting wari ken ke kuting other things kala pew, and then now you turn around kuchol ke ka yolium. And most of the time nyir kizatu a sad thing abijajal teachen ke la pew pi de na che bela dik, most of them era ante piolo kule piolo, of which is very rare. Rante piola loy, but most of them eklela piu kule go ken warike because yen etia wen kakur. Now it's our time to go. Belakeren, you guys love do and we humiliate every day. I don't know. I don't even know where to start from. I don't. Abapal keren, abapala call below. Because me, I can talk. I can talk.
No, chiao you will compare then to dollar to know that circle in yan tin call a bear or dollar war you well lost boy war a lot dia can you dear TikTok. Lost boy I by the way, but part of the my part of it too because most of them I need dirje awari cheri ko wa you la kurmi and then bo jamit you can discover in marriage ku jaka ga med you can be lo itike Why, yeah, Jamana, why do we want that to happen? Like, why would we want Bura and who feed the childhood the bullet disrupt? Now, Bugu Jebe, I'll do Kaka math in marriage. Go on, your bad guy, Kulawa like I know Duoka is Africa, okay, no, when they were Java, Duoka is Africa from Kampala to Uganda. No, I give my video, it's not viral. So I think because now what it can do, and because I think they are pure way, I think you have destroyed their life. Now they do stupid things. Kaka kaka rear pure jala dear man ke angwem jala ber TikTok ke arian because that stage I can do it fast. Yeah, you go feminist here for Philip dear man angwem you on TikTok ke arian talk no yo nyir ko feminist ko da jam nong kaka yi pizza ken chapati che yen ko mi tiga rie pio and I want to take it back to the point that already na che ku je ya non wake up pink and work this message share a very important message. It has to reach all the way back to villages bega monjang to etina kor bla o because what jam very important stuff that our people need to know. We support our culture. We embrace the good side of our culture that is relevant in the current context and we could promote. But part that is not working in Katerku way. At this point, we have a non way, the culture is. And child marriage is one of them. Achiel inji ke piel wera chal wel weru weto to piri diare piri nyiri when on huge responsibility and this story baba do achal wel Achiel also achal no look when you see when on role to play and I agree with both of you personally baba di cuman ne chen baba di luel kor ba chiro ko tong kwal manyang ina che baba di won mi ba che dictora chola yam dora cha ni go chola yam I will I think thing I have read about her, I've heard about her, great things she did. Fighting HIV/AIDS in South Sudan. I hope I'm fighting women empowerment now on the weekend with you girls. So maybe that dream is being achieved. But my dad told me kan ko ela quality in chere dictora chola yam do in dia dictora ko. And of course, that thing it just elevated, it just give me encouragement, give me so much hope that I will be one day dictor. I, that and I took it. That is why when your dad, your brother, or male figure in your uncle, which and were to just one positive word, it can just liberate you and make you to think outside the box. So kumbe there is life outside there. So I'm not just eat, but what do you think to somebody by chair. And then now I put it in my heart, I put it in my soul, and I work out. That is where it can we're doing in a non jaben. That na chi mama do chin and carrot, chi baba do chin and chankle do chin and carrot, or ben get a ting or get a ping, which in and carrot. Chi you tan chin be encourage kin ya. No, that encouragement, put it to your soul and do your part. And doing your part is as much as when like kon kula wala in nyan pia le nyali do na no ro ben ye ro nong chin kam ku pandu na to ngonge e ke yin ba tom jam when pandu kula panda an cha kan yung kan kwani tulu runo rune na runde ka an ja and promise pandu na ta ba du cha assurance that you be a good girl inte bravo ko loy e ka chi lui pressure na ta mama du cha encourage ka chi lui pressure na cha lo non ko bi lo encourage chi pressure chi and then show by being a good girl then na e sukulu kwa chu by being decent at home and contributing to your home economic chin and sukulu kain door but ben ta high school team chu gi la balaga chala tu ku refugee lord achen su kuraj achi kero mo yen mit a wer du yin men nya kuna du pio because kara loy man yin achi o kene ja du gan to kana cha ting in what is happening and why ko pio you know ngir kwa chi ran pan je ha chi lo nya cha yo na ran pan je ga chi ga ni ni ran pan wes ya because it's in English. So Iran and Pan Young, they thank you poverty at all in our community. And child marriage is also contributing to this poverty. And that's why we say, let's get away with this because child marriage has been kind of poverty in many ways. One intimate York man could be so ran could be a poverty multiply. A block let the ran could be in block with the you are not contributing economically because right now climate change kujaya like human floods to ben drought to ben economy achiria pinyera get how I roge like I'm a chia belo in na kore pan jeng in the whole economy for work at 2020. I don't think no productivity no rate like economically. Na ba ke geo ku yin tiran tiran 15 years kin economic contribution be no geo kurana kin pi aku pir so I think achi no tv on the core tv de taw ye oja en akwal pil wache tinga cheng suit the course suit kwatin matam le renting and then now life become very hard and poverty continue to increase and then that cycle repeat itself so poverty I just solve poverty en ke korbu problem I just solve problem the we call cultural defenders ke lo ke culture kin culture poverty I culture war ter en yiti age kor ka ke nang mal pinyeto intellectual contribution en ke liu because this tiake in korbo ye bududi no pe dit ku mi mit ku pir inji better outside the boy you cannot be think when you ten talk show you don't have time inji bu ja ni la mono pe so they are we're not contributing of course we're not contributing and it's one of the reason why when colonize are or kawajaru jak to ka alwe because we were not allowed to grow to self actualize and to contribute to society as a whole so can I will kapal ku we need to encourage our daughters, even as male sons and fathers and uncles and brothers. Please na chama na tinga chatinga pia kwa na ru ko ru ke ja ya choro wo lo ya ja ja la yiri pio mo ndu abu go ben yiri pio ni daman do abu ben kwa su ku ri ku le mo ni ku la yi tit ku do nya na ba pia na mo ni wene na ke ti abu yo yi nya tin ko la yi mo che wari by the way there is so much problem in that arrangement and our people like those things but it's not good but I want to turn hari kali di nyande ti but the problem in the church yale babra and program no that brain need to be free to not kill their creativity not kill their expression when I just ran you get your room I kill a bit jam you know video chatting can trending it and a video picture and I can't but dress my accountable in detail because I respect people's privacy, I respect people's choices. It has happened at you with the chain. The jam walked in a bello, a future focus. So whatever that happened, it happened. Now we have to make a U-turn. And the U-turn has to come by realizing that can what and I'm ran to tour can mentino run the one. Nyandia. Run the one. The chimoja the jala count of mirror da kan ti ro ru an ti le ler ba lo ya ada ka lo bi pe nom ni because ran te da ka ja yin men dia ti ra ran men du kwa tinge te kwa da jala kwa no ro sa 9 years men ti na yo je ni abi ja dir ke ni ci da ni aku pi e mon tung de non ti en mo no pi yen ka so program ni rana below is good if na bala take care in but not be responsible taking dependent person ku bajala you feel the way you want it if na banyela mo until with you okay but if life goes and happen kula pi the right check am na le ka chika lu kas because you have destroyed someone's life. Attending your did brought discover we have likes and dislikes to get discover. We are not conversation. It you go one but man it's your children. You look at your marriage, we panda interdependency, right? In Koran, when dependent, dependency. So and stages of personal development in your dependent in a man code. Then you'll become independent. And then now interdependent. Okay, number three okay, stage two. John made from dependent to Bokuta interdependent. You know how does that arrangement work? How does that arrangement work? Why can we allow children to grow until we are independent? And now they choose to be interdependent to join life with others, to just go decision. Why? We'll call for why. You know, if not wrong, I take this all wrong. Child marriage, I increase. Child marriage, a community, do not pay. Child marriage, a country, do not pay. Child marriage, economy area. We don't want that. It has to end, and it is ending today. So we need to make a U-turn for our people. People who are agreeing with this, thank you. We'll take in the comment section. make this message share could your sentence in the comment because we want to move away from this anus practice. Actually, good. Actually, cultural. Actually, culture poverty. Actually, culture in poverty. Actually, culture. Violence against women. Promote. Culture has to protect its women, and women has to be given time to grow to be responsible mothers of in their families and in the society. Well, cool. And not about bell.
Okay. Kalang is getting hotter, and I think quite a bit in Abnankulumune because all the conversation they got chito, they so Kikar Wenjam is like, and then maybe female figures, male figures, maybe I talk like they encourage us or will push ahead. Yeah, even me, yeah, even two parents been to my parents. I think can be like the entire society rather was going to be in harmony. I think chaos, I think maybe violence against women, why? Because yeah, my parents are not that educated, yeah, but then it's like cake. They believe man there's brighter future ahead more than keep be much actually. So my dad used to tell me man adi tour ni large that about trade. Though a doctor, but he knows very well what I'm going to do about trade. Okay, we don't predict what the future holds in store because it's like we humans wait for any time. So, I want to talk about females, males rather. I think behavior then because like quite human be that quite any world I informed. Even these particular people, I imagine them. I can I tell you I don't know. Man, they get churanga. Man, they get man to baga. Ba irane. But then I could call ni go jor. Puberty is giving us some sort. It tells us, man, I think we are going backward. We are not going forward because a female who is informed, man, I think it can be force, can be tiag, and then health risk involved, and then maybe she's not, they are mature and she doesn't take part in decision making. Ito na yun na will like a program because it's like I think the title for you is like driving her and aging power over her body actually. You need to just use her the way you want and I think voice why because I think on Belay and I think on Benjamin and is lacking that maturity in her. And we know mature people how they think and how do they voice out their values. I think everything man are something actually align with their values, something that either in pain, then they can voice out now, you get you call a third party because conflict between the family and you guys are you handle. Then you call someone maybe if you haven't really, then you see how to go about it. So it's like some of the men they are really informed, but then they don't want to take the initiative of maybe bigger that fed bigger get it. Why? Because it's like they want people to. That's why they say we don't want educated girls. Then that's they say we don't want educated girls. We don't want girls who are matured and it's like I actually like Lonika like something because someone who is mature like go and mana jam de mana de ira anti mwene na nyikilo en. So abika jala manipulation jaga use your core and it's like you don't have any voice. So may as well outside there. I'm trying to say that please and please let's advocate uh for girl child education, not education. I don't want for education, but then we shouldn't get involved in this because you are informed. Kai made you na yiti aga rangi keg. Inji maybe na le dir kutit a lot yang mi aga chidir kayong bi apian di angot kanyi. Still you still go back. People from the west they're really, I don't really know why, but like they're really nice people, but I don't know why they don't take part in this. And I can hear victim. You see some of the women, I like jail. Why? Because it's like, like peers can like a team. Like maybe my age mate at Jawan Kapoor. And I have a think the life I am in. She has to get involved. Why? Because she did not enjoy all the privileges getting the her youthful stage and she has to like try as much as she can be below associate getting and guy single calorie cake. And that one really contradict her marital status. Why? Because Achi kaluya lo na yala to the clubbing wako. They kala to the clubbing di mo yato. And then other parties like and I have to like get there. She has not to because I think about she Lodi me that thing. So it's like we are putting ourselves at risk as well because it's like you married someone who is not mentally mature, then that person is like nah give me that maturity will have been in her. Because like adolescence is something that you could control, and I think some of the hormones that can work or which any roles they play in our body or which na at that particular moment, you have to like comply to them. There's no way out, and we can't blame people for that. And that's why you see some of the ladies like either law they get entangled with gentlemen. Why? Because they did not express the love they have. you know love is all about expressing the love you have, like talking in baleranding, and that person get to understand how you feel or how he feels about you, and all stuff. So it's like they go and tangle with gentlemen. Why? Because they feel man stage ke job and thing can ride stage ke glove and be express, then can PS can ko tum can keep. Lakini acha hanya when I have like I'm mentally matured. Lumdiakia developed very well. I'm independent, like Trisha Kaya lawyer talk. Then I am with the danger lawyer in a digga because I know if someone asks me, man, I didn't know anybody know anybody lawyer. I have to defend it because I know the reason I need to know it will you go away yen. Kitchen, Jena win. And yeah, and I can be able to stand for and say, man, they can win here. And why? Because people may intimidate me, man, Achimodi Tiag and whatever thing. But then me personally, I know the reason as to why I chose him. It's like making choices that are maybe go away independent and go away mentally mature at the same time. Oh, well, upon written, and then issues only arise in my family. I can be able to handle them. Until Barakana, Mama, can I tell you, I didn't way out because they and get like kid. And some Nico man money. Most of them is like I can talk any man because anyiki mana de kai tik and then it kills. Tik is not a bed of roses where you just enjoy life with your husband. No, the moment you're involved with tik, and then there are there are chaos blue arise from the family. But then how do you handle them? Yes, some people will love it's like at the time Jalapana came and to the idea did. It's like some of the girls, and I think given in about pure again, in about last better I stay without getting married. Why? Because they were really very young. And when they okay, given I couldn't became meet big bay, and you couldn't see that in like a terrible like pain. A pain is just unbearable. Even in Iran, chila through nothing anything. And one thing I got realized is that the people could I jam on him like cholmate. Kunyadeti actually on cholme because like body there is someone who is not mature. Then I think that about he did listening, and the pain she was going through. You see, and I feel like I feel like when there is someone who's matured and is just there enjoying, you see, and he's the one who took part in that. So like, please, May, let's collaborate, let's join hands together and say no. Let our girls grow. Ayanya dunjanyar. Look for a way and get join your code, look for a way, be a win and try to maybe it's like even sometime I think maybe some of the girls are ignorant because we're been with the mentality of getting married. Ian ke war way there is. The moment I think maybe people will start to think of maybe when you bay, they will start to maybe benya big decorate and they will start to force me chamalala is like what you call a lorry with it, those kind of things. And we try to embrace them. Why? Because it's something I would think our peers are enjoying. I think or everything. Kajale is the way to go and also get involved. And now it's becoming rampant. It's like someone who was born in 2007 is pregnant now. And when you look at her, I think hipster talking but I think get your hipster. Keep talking and it's like I know in the end, Achibia, it won't yield good results. Why? Because he's very young when giving birth actually. So there's some of the things I think is like from the surface, high dangerous, and for us we tend to maybe go there. We just intrude even though it could like the consequences. We have to just go, and it's something that people are doing. Why not me? And I'm informed. Why not to take the initiative? Take your leadership. It's not something man had been done or maybe crown in the family in the gathering. We just demanding a leader. Is an activist. No, it's the little thing, the little step you take. You try to voice out. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it will yield something, and a being going to Jala work at the same time because since we source of income. We waiting man I didn't at your work over rich, but the kitchen and Joe Galemadic. I chill on a query Kiran. Today I live a thousand cows I live a gun, but then I chill with my family, I chill a bigger than why because it's something. Life is funny actually because what you worked for, you surprise more than 3 years and then. So it's like 1,000 cows and cat 100 cows. I think we wake up my father because you're rich for that entire his lifetime. Why? Because they can running actually. And can running, I think we get ways like Bajali plan, man, they can have a little it's something that is just temporal, and in the long run it will disappear. But then if your daughter is just someone who maybe is educated or then other skills involved can be are busy because if we are idle, that's when we think of marriage. If we are idle, that's when we maybe we would involve in some of the filthy stuff and do what you actually. But naturally, buku like buku brains for book our brain muscle book and getting something productive. It's not necessarily problem to cool, yeah. But then if you feel like it's like is not education is not meant for everyone actually, and we cannot blame people who are not educated. But the thing is, get matured when you are doing something. Maybe we have vocational schools where you can go and like bakery and then later kwenye makana and some of the things man at the beginning you're busy at that particular moment while waiting for your spouse. It's not bad. It's just trying to maybe develop, and when you're independent, when you're able to make your choices, then you're good to go. Then in a bit, yeah. So that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you, Anon. I think Zaman Lokalo and the topic is getting interesting. There's a point that you have raised there about work. I think it be quite important. A cycle of poverty can work in Kalatin. And this got me to think, I think the main reason why enemy yen ke tiak ke kor e were ma, right? And I have not done statistic, but through observation, I've seen in the communities where there is no bride price, it's rare to see nyantin for the tiak. But in the communities of Dinka and Nuer and other cattle keepers that demand huge bride price, this is where the situation is rampant. And I think what we can do, Kawaii society, is to regulate the bride price. I'm not saying do not pay bride price, but I think it has, if not dismantled, then let's regulate it because I think yes, maybe it's sense of pride to other people, or it's a sense of I don't know, but I don't think and I know you can billions or millions of shillings in Kenya. Kuwageke parents can right now or koi pandin or mitakiki right now ko changot ke kran ko changot ke nyol, and this leads me to if we have to address this issue of child marriage, we have to address the root cause, and the root cause of it is poverty. And because there's a avenue where parents think that they can get away with poverty through selling off their girls. Because I'm not going to say married, because I think between an older guy, Kunyantin, I don't see anything there. That's like selling off your child. So I think for the people that are on the screen, Kujala activists go to outside that are working, I think we need to start addressing it at the level of bride price, like dowry. Yomubukulo about the dowry so that our children. Do you think na nyir ke chega tiago kadika or will adika no rana mende gam monjang? I don't think so. It's all because of dowry, and I think we need to start addressing that and that. And when you call yellow pink villages, it I think we're going to villages. We're going to no ranch theater. Sorry to interrupt. Rananong Ramatud will Matud, I'm sorry, we are not going to answer private issues here. Whether we are not married or we are not does not take away the fact that an issue in our community and that needs to be addressed. You don't have to have status to address something, and that mindset that you guys need to stop. It's one of the reasons why any yene korbit yak, because without marriage, eating chirke it's almost achieve in our life, but it's not. So I think I was talking about the dowry part of it. I think the dowry part of it, which this one will take intervention of many other agencies, because I think at community level people have tried to moderate it before, but it has not happened. So I think it's something that need to be addressed at the agency level. And I also think too, for the guys that are, we've been talking about the guys. The reason why we are talking about the guys, right? Our community, patriarchy, whereby men are doing wow, kusema, they are the one that says everything. That's why we are addressing this and basing it on you, because you are the guys that will have to, come together and stop this. And I think the lawyers and all those quite civil they need to start advocating and really work so hard. Being were approved from all this, because we are losing a lot of children in the name of marriage and all this. I just don't understand. Like the picture that was trending, when I saw it, I began to see my sister, our last born. I saw my sister in her, because even the facial structure and all this, that's like our last born. I was like, I would, I'm sorry to say it, but could work into oxygen. If someone approached my sister like that, could oxygen. That's the level of anger and frustration women are about this issue, right? So I guess I have exhausted everything, but I would just want us, maybe next time we can invite the someone that is well informed in this area of child rights and all that, to come and address those one in another level. Whatever that we were discussing here is based on the observation and what we have seen that is happening in our society, and what we have, most of the girls or women are quite yakan. What we have seen, the suffering they have gone through, and we don't want other children to go through. And I think you guys can agree with me. You sort of feel guilty sometimes that your life turned out to be the way it is, and there's the other women there or the other girls that do not get chance to experience what like what you have. It's not that, like, we are not saying we have accomplished everything in life, but we are in a place whereby should anything happen to you, you can always depend, you can always lean on yourself. Like, you don't even have to, like, balwel babel of anbon will bangala kor na chiran kor bi kwan. You can always help yourself, and this is what we want for the other children. Like, I don't think any one of you libya BTL dom just because of a guy like mun lati nyanti ko yung ba jalwel kay. Auntie could well brag, because when I start bragging, you guys will not like it. Like it. Yung ba jalwel ka na mo niya. So I think TL to thin. Just because work, we have seen the benefits of being empowered, the benefits of given time to self-actualize, the benefits of having to do your mistake, learn from them, and grow from them. And this is what we want for other children too. It's a fundamental right for a child to be guarded, protected, guided, and given all the necessities for her growth or his growth. Okay. Today we're not going to tackle the child marriage in among boys, because it's not common. But there are those guys too in villages. You can really because adu live ben kune ke also it's better because kenyan one ke and all this. So guys, anyone there out, we need to step up and advocate. We need to advocate. It's a serious issue. If you are on TikTok, you will see what we are talking about. And if you are even in the grassroots, you have seen worse than us. Because what we come to see it and just a tip of iceberg, right? So I guess it's in the Indian because it's a gum group because I cannot imagine Nen KD and Tin Kool be much be jar to the locating there. They can run, I swear to living God. Anna Kular Sijan.
Actually, that is it. Actually, they deserve to be bigger now because it's so disappointing and heartbreaking at the same time. And we jump in my U-turn message, and then I'll give each of you 1 minute. Buku jat here. But we can't we talk a page ben man to take the gym work in a child marriage. And we are focusing on girl child because our great audience, you can address South Sudanese and Dinka in particular, and somewhere who practice this culture, is that look, 1 in 3 girls look a child bride, and South Sudan actually it's top the world for child marriage. And when we say child marriage, it can be with or with under age, under 18 years old. So there has been conversation online the past 2 weeks, and we just come in book of voice and opinion below that we need a U-turn on this practice. Ran pan jeng in challenge chalwel kulwe yen this practice walu yin when manazam on this thing. So you provided there like you work in five state in South Sudan. I tell you that I come ke ka nyir ken tau marriage is okay ngode ke for like 13 year old like just yeah because you want bride price ke ne cha che lo bi dowry bi chwar pe che chole. So ngong yen ke that yen ke chop that practice cholo. So that one has entered the non koi culture bo bo ko yin ke culture da ko lui in this space have had stories and narrative and experience that yen a culture ngong and wongong in what there. And we don't have to sacrifice women and sacrificing future of our children because one with cham and chala chanyala tige. Eka bila question ami da buga question could that continue, the circle will continue, poverty will continue, uh, trauma will continue, dysfunctionality will continue. There's so many dysfunctional families though, in our community because are we raised by people that are not responsible, that are not at the age when they benefit our parents. Because your parenting, if you koran when a kid manual to e koran when mutsu. The way to work in right now, what is scattered all over the world. We call their culture, there's a way where our culture in those practices protect on their come on their in Naganya Tiako, Kula, which keep on one, it can you bella paper and then we pure, a bella boko bere be pure ku bere be do no like ala ruru that I don't think really a good practice but it kind of it works somehow at the time now na tanya jala jor pan jing or lo jor kemi ku be ya or be is Africa or be Madina Juba. Okay, now you go pushing because I'm the quick low. She's misbehaving. I just try to explore life. Ika ba be joro be la do panden or ba jadi boss or ba pali chari cheni or we change. So that thing, that culture now it's better to protect the setting has wrong here. Pire you war. So something ke kumni on the village is actually better man. And that is why in Wagalwell Pira war kanga war. But you could really chop actually be solved for chong because the more binin man to learn, low kura la loy, kem kaka malwar, kila beka better the teaching because I can man to not pull at you. Because ki korba lo in parent ever man to ban ye pure. Na ja man to nye pure at ya dira to am swolly at jalo, e ka jala panin ja malum kin you proud. Because I don't know if can be a problem if you cha chang ngong abang ngong ada kan ti men ti gam ka tin dir le bol bun ben ama chuor ben pa de nyela chen because agam ke me ta ku lo lo ku le ko chen ku ber kala du e da bi ko ni mal war ti yeni because ti ke lor error ya because a lor ya by mistake ran ku lo now ye mal ba ba du chen or e ba ja jal won mal man or ba la how would you feel tiene rod and I know rod at rate there are many marriages when tiga ya tuom ni mi bo je met je bi nya ti ke kuna ye bi mala ti ye bi mi ke men bu ba la do na ngi ba bu mu ye bi ngro lo je nya je bu go ti like what do you want in your parent so the message the you turn message here to go a parent work on families work on ni is that musuali amendu du nu kari na cha me be no ka yimu ako yen ali hen panaki a yen sukul man ken sukul ben on tere ken sukul a yen alet a yen war you need to protect them emotionally by a jam yo by a jam them ago kanyi because kera loy man our parents yin jadi ti mi tu kwega winchen rier bin ga mu kene ya another challenge in poverty you did it poverty na je mi bu juro ko le mana ti nyandu e ja dire e ya nyandu ko no 11 years or 12 years or 13 years that needs to increase and you cannot protect it nyan e ka le blo chare yen ka yen wo go ke bu do wo ti ke you know a problem ka carry because abla ben na jara loy para e yo chi min me andu jwir so that ba proud yen ago diri chin because ki ero dollar no la example ni gama example ni ti lo chere ku ke ni clear chere a responsibility ti parent ti ku because na ti nyandu ti wo telephone e ka li bi mo la ho telephone na ko bi a jam pen ge tin ko jam tin na ti nyandu na ti wo good food e ka ko bi mo bla ta ku bla cham na ci nyaadu na ci ñey mu na ci wel le ta kor bi moj bla oran de chare ci la yi wala bla loy de ci rek so we parent don't you need to take responsibility na jam and this wing you already ngong ni jam ke ku le man dia ngong e no da man e lo le pi ra wa wa ngong man ba na ni ci pio loy ke na le jale bol ye ke pi da le be la wa ke yi men du jam pio lo encourage lo so ku lo yi ni la bi cher nge in la in bi cher nge tang da yi nyot ke ko won chen pi den ke di well that example ale be ai read pio all of us here what the testimonies kwa sugar share our parent our I encourage lo men di in bi cher nge di ki in ji me da read pio bana chi me da chi chen wer pie le ye lu ne encourage to develop emotionally I chen ke pie lu ye metaja tomrir just like nothing je mo ji ka je ti problem will come from outside or ken ke jal ko chen ku jalwel wala in said in kuru man du jal ku na na ra bo ben ga da rie ke ni we parent those decision or calculation kloy we are telling you they make a u-turn today na no man du to kan yi ko ngong yen please you wipe your read tuwadi chiang en no bia musu na le la pande ke bia responsible pande na no mal yen ya chulo waje ko culture dowry a be regulate akuma because right now this dowry thing is also a violent and abuse era in marriage and we don't want that we want nyandu bla nyechen pande we don't want ba ja champo to the point when ben ya lo wala yin no in bi atin ji wo war ti ga mor bi atin ji wo war ti ga that thing right we need to reduce that price and be critical but ki jam wo ko lo yule problem a chin solve problem na to ngonge ki yin do men to tell a problem is because that ngong a be jal because of marriage take care nyirku to take care of wet ku ya lakin kien mi pressure cha ka mi lu grow cha ka lo mistake cha ka lu learn cha ka lo decision ke because ke chol see a very important a good economic institution a good social institution and a family be as strong in it nyan gun chron cha muksul wen cha muksul bi ka chen mar bi ka mi bi ka du bi mi ya muksul bi ka good people in the society we don't want broken families because of broken women we grow we also don't want to lose many lives Chugulwel ne kuleke child marriage no nyir anong so many health related impact. Men nya tia ka nong 15, 14, 13 years old ka go da ken dir ay dit ay la tia. Mi bi man ha to ke dit. Meta le ben meta men tin dit ki lu chul le be to dia da man dit ya. Kutik ya ale be to da man dit and because I can go there can already be a mother. Of course, that challenge I can do in there. Rejab do any a movement and the adult people in the society. So we don't need those problems because we continue. Jonya and did not get here better to be jatia, jala pande. Na chata sukuli ku chigada chi pomo de tola chi jama de neto de work mashallah. We ko jam kulela ko jam against this thing I call when church ya go better chin go better because ke chol kulwel kutene awareness. It has nothing to do with our personal life. We know that peer and challenges ke kuke chol lun daran brir kan yin is very very important because it affects all aspects of you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and people need to make decisions on their own, right? It has nothing to do with Western or no. I don't think Malawi till our music one who break up 300 marriages in Malawi, child marriages. That thing a divorced woman, a ito Africa, kato Malawi country. Ala nana strong woman ben man South Sudan kaka chir thousand marriages ka look a break in 1 month in South Sudan. Because that practice South Sudan can number one child marriage and that is child abuse. You deprive children of their childhood, of their health, of their life because many children end up dying or living a tormented life because I can go PPS then a team. So chaka meet chaka did then came my U-turn message. We don't watch in problem when call we culture practice, but the culture when violent against women, will support anymore. We need a U-turn. We need a culture. Yeah, I know culture when is future looking, actually backward looking. Culture when they are empowered, I go there, I go society empowered. Culture when you tool when the best thing that we can do culturally, bu watching I pan kwana nginya ke ko jwar chin tewe nyane sukule. That is the culture for who support ago nyana go riera go family go be jorko ago wena go riera go family den be jorko. The culture for who culture poverty eliminate a culture dependency be nyai ago ran ben biran am sule ke be jam ti ko bu wo ka tere ga to ku cha ni in ge culture jam wo kunai culture wena pi lo ko du nam chen ka yugo la chu we need a U-turn and it has to start with girl child because when now you're strong, if a blood thing is strong, night is strong, goodbye, career, and get clear walking. Well, quite jam long majority when cocker most the atong area can ben jab traumatized see a single mom chicken which you had divorce and what I can take me I can work a pid and I check a recheck and now I jalum example. That okay, bad example in will come jam over you. That is what you are doing. We call destroying women life and using them as example when we got more people destroy. So women, we need to come out and condemn these people and condemn their mindset and empower them with right information to know that what area because of you and we don't want more big barrier. What happened has happened. We need a U-turn, we need a positive future. In Gabiama U-turn message. And no need U-turn message in the world. But U-turn message there. We ran the pin totten got a U-turn message about this. The book will show that here in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, yes. I hope everyone do watch his enemy Kilumie. So, poverty I didn't inherit at some point. Like because today you marry someone who is not mentally matured and maybe I think binye and me are trained the moment she gives birth. Man, there I can like she doesn't have maybe skills been man been get trained been in a way when maybe women actually appear and whatever thing. So I don't know like you can bring up a child in a way, man, like in a way that is not actually we are someone maybe kinang skills you home at your home training actually. And we need to be mindful of generation because the generation to come, we need to be mindful of them. We could train can that maturity in their mind ka your way. So I say poverty, is something that we can fight for. It's not something that is maybe a been abrupt and that's all. We need to just fight for it step by step. And poverty is temporal. It's something actually you can work, but you could be you, and we can stay eradicated. So our parents, when my care yeah, what you can understand is like even like going to screen yeah oh it actually well of actually. But it's the resilience they have area to check a pure ko ke way. Yi didn't roll if chan banyandu but train didn't roll chan banyandu. But push ahead mana de ke yi ne support ba kon dir jemo di jeloy ko che baneng pa de gamen di. So nyin ngong ato no ran bile kina pe bu ke nyin ngong. Bu be alum ke something it won him to but bugu bayata young Dubai, maybe in 15 years or in 10 years, Dubai ben, then ke poverty actually bugu by embrace ke biang pida or what you as you mana de ke nyandu in being baby in that particular situation to thing. So my youth and message to allow nongi, actually we have like, people who are married and me I'm not married. No I'm not married and I'm to Africa. I'm not a feminist. And like Junupla Ben, actually, into West Africa, and West Africa is just near. Actually, the joint thing. So my turn message to the girls is like we need not to be idle. Let's find what to do. Let's voice out. Let's join hand together. Going to Marco actually because I think some of the mothers they really want good out of us, but then we lack a book a back. Why? Because we can and I kai ku kan ko I think I think really boja you ko because ane ran ka ji ko it's very hard for one to fall. So I think more we shouldn't disappoint them. Let's try as much as we can because I think later on this planet everything is just within our reach. And if we limit ourselves, that's when we say man I poverty eradicate through marriage and other alternatives. But then it's not the way. Let's try to see what we can do and in the long run it'll be impactful to your family and the society at large. We need to also to consider the society of thing. And that's some of the people I didn't even yeah, I didn't even actually, but who will help them? I think you can be one of them because I mean that will impact maybe help go from your family level or Google level to the community. And if I have impact to the society, it makes more sense and you tend to have like more blessings and one great joy effective. Why? Because you put smiles on people's faces and everyone is just happy because of you. So marriage is not the way to go. Marriage is never a way, it's never a success. Though you're getting defined, whenever you're married, that's when they say yeah is successful. Whenever you're married to like someone who has money, someone who is wealthy, they get successful. No. You shouldn't define your success. Maybe at someone using someone's land or using someone's struggle. It doesn't make sense and that's why some of the people are like use bigger drive. Why? Because I think you contribute and if you don't contribute, that's when you see yourself you don't take part in any of the things and you tend to be like yes silence even though they write yes silence. Why? Because you don't contribute anything. So all in all is let's be mindful of generation but then because na bumi kwa buke yaga because of poverty and still ka buke like a buke inherit like that and a buben ke something ke munang lineage and it's not actually a good thing for males. Please, you shouldn't be happy at the expense of someone suffering. It doesn't make sense and you shouldn't use the example of the actually divorce because it's like most of them they were traumatized and that's why they divorced and you guys are very happy. So like happiness at someone's expense, it doesn't make sense and we're humans and it doesn't give a good implication but I'm getting running a good because of you. I don't know how to face but for me it really pains my heart and it doesn't I can it doesn't make sense. So we shouldn't take advantage of women and say they are actually divorced and whatever thing because you guys are happy at the expense of them divorcing. So and it was simply because of trauma you have caused to them. So that's all I can say.
Hey guys, I understand. Karang it's almost a huge topic and it's very complex, and there is no to ending to it. But I would just say the first thing that I would urge everyone to do is to denounce it, actively advocate for it. You know, against it. Sorry, advocate against it. We need to come out in large numbers, and even men. Um, I'm basing my argument every time on men because men are the drivers of this society. Akeke rules ke lo set kwa keke create ben law. So you guys need to come out instead of calling people names that are advocating against this. If you cannot add anything positive, then be quiet. If you want to come out, don't be shy. Come out, denounce it. I know there are people that are working on the background and at the grassroots. I think what we could do is to come brainstorm and come together and find a ways to eradicate poverty where we come from because poverty is the reason why achan brancham kamani adanga I know kocha ike pi watch ka lo na mwaro ka lo ni ka yuta ni ni arjama that means that quite a villages at shirka ngade shirka will talk to no they need can you then upping kilwelko. This is what I have to tell you. Go to the villages to Yenwell or to Christmas and all these and talk nice about things that women have done and are doing in their life. By doing so, you are going to be influencing those people to see a different perspective of what woman can be, right? Because to them, a woman can only become successful nati and pia, right? And you know what? One thing I understand now. Rioje kwa chwa villages kwa it. Emem ko ja ke chwa we villages ko ja ti ben kadang kemi ku ko ja ben ko ja be kurubitiong juba pire area. I do understand that. But you know what? There were time when youth not youth when lost boys were not here. Kupiriri, we still found ways to survive. I remember koja ke chom kudura, koja ke ye ke kamira, koja ke da boy ke na ke nyong kuleke. People were just innovative. They were trying all the means to make it, to make the end meet, right? I believe if you apply the same thing in your life as a parent, that same thing will be seen by your children and they will pick it up. The hard work that you put into kadang action, that's what your children will see, pick it up from there, and they will be like, you know what, if my mom or my dad can go out of his way to do one, two, three, then why can I not do work hard maybe in school to better this, because most of the time, especially as girls, we are very emotional beings and we are very caring beings. Like when you see your mom and your dad in that situation, you always tell yourself, one day I will do this and I will turn this situation around. And so even if loy loy ti ke kadang kui ke lawyer, they will change life mendu, you know. And even if you cannot afford ba mendu ta school dir ki te ke pir mendu ba kon pioje be dir biaran ko bira loy kadang self actualize bra loy develop before being could loy sent into marriages very important because na tiranyi ke ngenge kuchela pande badena I think she will be able to handle the stress and stress ban can marriage could grace whatever that comes with marriage could make more. Um, Another thing we need to remember is that our children are not extension of us. We are two individual people. So if you have failed to acquire wealth, that's your problem. It's a you problem. It's not your children problem. Do not project that on your children. Find ways to make it right. Or if you cannot, we have seen by React, right? I cannot blame anyone. We need wealth lawyer and all this. Find a way, Benny Louis live. ye bala kwanye karsalat bakyaj, ye bayala lui mujengo bayala butut kode, do it because the sending nyandu thick it's not going to solve all your problems because that irrational thought of even Banyad Batawe will continue to do it here. Yin be yaka ngabaka la taya ke ken kenyi taki japia kuloi cake and all this has to stop and activism has to continue. Whoever call you be jolly in bitter feminist, oh it will divorce, oh it be of that women to kabedid kule. Ah, no, I think like continue we'll still continue making noise. I wouldn't even talk about what government will do because there's a lot of things that have not been done, right? So book goal at family levels, at community levels, talk about it in community events. Binyir bikega kadangachong bikega lui encourage to do better in life, to know better, just encourage them. They'll call to one day and all these. I swear to living God, encouragement takes you places. I remember one time, not one time, most of the time, my dad used to say, Yin Klabla Gadinglan. I swear to living God. But it's only my classmate or my schoolmate could talk it and they will tell you what I used to brag. I used to tell them, me, my dad is taking me to England after this because people will be like, I'm going to Kenyatta University. There's nothing wrong with Kenyatta. There's nothing wrong with Nairobi. These are best schools. But me, my mind was just switched. I'm like, Uncle Andy outside outside the continent. Uncle Andy again. I swear to living God works miracles. I got lucky, got the scholarship. And there's one classmate of mine, name was Somali, Baba Echa, you can to Nairobi. When we were transiting from London, my dad called. I told my dad, she told it, asked me to no man go to London. That was like a dream come true for me. And that one I've carried it up in life until today. If things don't work out the way I want, I'm like, you wouldn't call me and to Ben England and to Ben Maju. This is the same thing you can apply in Pirman Duit. Encourage them, even if Kuchin Kito, they will put it in their head. Anong Kito, Galen, yeah, no matter whatever that is, I will still make it Kwambilole. And manifesting your life and good thing in your life, are you universe, are you Keklobe, if you do it, Kukran Kukonyin. I think I will end it from here and we'll continue to come back and talk more about issues like this because if we keep quiet, okay, then we are doing disservice to our community because we are privileged enough, we have platforms and we are free to talk. So we'll come and talk more when we come back and I will end it from here.
Thank you, Achille. Thank you, Anon, and thank you. Coach can walk back in message back pink back lerby. Please share it. Let help people make a youth and I can say look faith come by hearing and hearing and hearing, and we will be talking. So there will be abundance of opportunities for people to hear and hear and hear until they reach a place where that they will not gaslight it again. So we hope that people will make a positive U-turn and and give plan positivity in your girls' minds. Okay, actually always we mis encourage. You can mis tong it. You can mis talk with it. Be a cock a culture. We caught a quet or we caught a position of leadership everywhere. To think away one young we have to be. Don't mislead Cowen mom. But because misleading them kola culture a good talk mit kuone ngadi so that bak mit kena jala page ka chin boku ja so yen ka chin ka ti bi ka cham. I don't think you're good. You are encouraging them because in poverty. You are encouraging because in darkness. Tell them the truth that child marriage arise because ko ngo man ke ka mit ken ta marriage is ke ko won ti ke or ko chin information ko ti ke ni liya man achiran ber lo gai ke ran ran e lo nya dia ba cham bu ti ko to ya ti ko re ha jam windi I be support kere ro ras never been a problem. I don't think now do ti ga be yo big lo already adi man It used to be back then in Kwachin culture. But the money in a better gap. The Duoja Law manager of Korea Dira, who are mature 30-year-old boys, Keka Jala Kurumane Diar, Keka Norin Kenya, Keka Cholke, Diar, when you live a Gokula Cham Kitchen. It can be a failure of responsibility on their behalf because one which are adult 18 years and above, which empower one, you will not go and balance disaster to the society. So my message, well, families, please be responsible, support your children, well, community, yeah, we're community leaders. We want a lot of organizing, and I love it. I love community mobilization, community gathering. Yaki good messages, yaki ta. Which messages? Siman kalu trengu lo adi ara evil. Yes, what would you expect of things traumatized? They will act as evil. So, but things power will act as an angel. So, in a car, they are big angels, not evils. When we can power, you talk in the glory. I think evil read pandiak. Evil read in the hell. So, you create hell. Oh, we will be evils and we will haunt you. But you create an heavenly space, will be angel and life will be good. And that is where what we want to work out a youth. We want the society to create heavens for women to thrive, to be angel, to be loving, to be supportive, to be productive. When can you tell message today, Chapin, now all the contributors. So thank you so much, ladies. I'm grateful for this discussion. And thank you all. We're Coach Die, Nelly Jorgen work and let in child marriage, especially girl child marriage. Nelly Jorgen work.